Now to the growing concerns tonight that the United States could get involved in the Iran-Israel conflict. The U.S. has begun evacuating some diplomats from the American embassy in Israel. And back here in the States, anti-war protests broke out across the country, including in front of the White House and also right here in New York. Derick Waller, following all the developments, and he joins us now with the latest. Derick?
Christine, good evening to you. And, you know, publicly, President Trump is still leaving the door open to diplomacy. CBS News has learned President Trump met with his national security team in the Situation Room today. And after tabling an initial plan to go ahead with a strike, well, today he kept reporters guessing.
You don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do.
President Trump played coy outside the White House Wednesday, but CBS News has learned the president actually approved a plan to attack Iran on Tuesday night, but chose not to make a final call in case Iran decided to abandon its nuclear program.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time, and I think they were a few weeks away from having one.
It's been a week since Israel's strike against Iran's nuclear facility launched a war between the two rivals, with anti-missile shields over Tehran and Tel Aviv only able to shield so much. Republicans who control the Senate are divided on whether the U.S. should get involved.
It's time for regime change, and I believe that this president should be given a fair amount of leeway to effect that.
I think if the United States actively bombs Tehran, the possibility of negotiation goes out the window.
On the steps of the New York Public Library Wednesday, anti-war demonstrators, many of whom also identified as anti-Israel, made their positions clear. Eitan Maburik's family fled Iran decades ago.
I don't think the liberation for the Iranian people can ever come from foreign bombs being dropped on their head. I know that Iranians have fought against this regime for sustainable, lasting change for their own people, and they will continue to do that. And they're not going to look for Netanyahu to deliver that for them.
But from Brooklyn, fellow Persian-American Tara Partovi told us she supports Israel's involvement.
What Israel did, I think, was smart. It was strategic. If you hear his speech, it's not against the Iranian people, but it's against the regime.
Now, back to that question of whether the United States should get involved. Well, the president may be thinking about this. If the U.S. launches a strike, CBS News has learned from sources who were briefed on the matter that Iran is preparing to potentially retaliate with missiles launched at U.S. bases and other American assets in the region. Christine.
Really concerning updates there, Derick. Thank you for that update.